Hi guys, welcome back to MK Sportscars. It's back in the workshop time and the sun is shining. It's all prep for open day. So I'm looking forward to that, but we're going to kick off with this EU19 actually. So this particular car was our old demo car, featured in the Complete Kit Car magazine. It had a black stripe at the time. This one's come back in. It's a Mazda RX5 base kit. It's got the 1.8 engine in it, and the good thing, it's for sale, chaps. If you're looking for it, current owners, had his little bit of fun and wants to move it on and do something else. And well, we've got it back here. You can come along, have demo drives in it, test it out, but I'll probably shoot you a picture of this. There was a nice little article Complete Kit Car did on it. Very clean and tidy car, low mileage. I think it's done, well, let's have a look. 1,799 miles, and the wipers do work, as you see. So it has got the wiper kit on it, the motors and everything else, all of that. It's got a nice set of Cobra padded seats in it, the MK branded harnesses, Pro Race 1.2 wheels. I'll even pop the bonnet for you, let's have a look. So probably needs a little bit more of a clean. We've just given it a bit of a bucket of water at the moment, and then we've just got to go through the car, give it a little bit more detail back under the engine bay. Pretty good really. It's got a polished manifold, which you could polish up a bit more, but it's a nice polished manifold this had on there. Got the 1.8 engine, which is about 140 horsepower. So yeah, nice bit of kit actually, and I remember this car fondly with memories. Great little bit of kit. It's got red stripe now. At the time it had a black stripe. That's fine, you know, you can change those and transform the look of a car. And it has got the windscreen with the poppers on ready, so you could actually put the hood and doors on it, because it's got the little wind deflectors here as well. So yeah, if you're interested in this car, it will be up on the website, or if not, hook us up with a phone call, email, if you're interested in an RX5 1.8 Mazda car. Right, here we are, bare chassis actually, because we're in with mock-up stages here. And this is the Duro power engine, as we call it. It's a 2 litre, pretty much similar to a Ford Durotech. It is in everything, every shape and form. But it's on here, nice cam cover. We showed this around December time, mated to a Mazda NC, so Mark III 5-speed gearbox, proven solution, should we say, because that's basically the drivetrain out of a Mazda Mark III, but a non-VVT variant, but they work the same. So we've done with the mock-up here, we're making the engine mounts, putting the gearbox mounts in, doing the mock-up stages, just got the gearbox mount to do, and then we'll start just going through all the little details to make this into what we call a complete kit, because we're trying to sell this as a kit in a box. That's the stages, so it'll be coolant lines, plumbing lines, brake lines, fuel lines, everything all on this particular chassis, which is why we're just doing a bit more of a development and mock-up before with this one, which will be turned into our demo car. This will kick out somewhere in the region with these throttle bodies around 190 horsepower, which is more than enough for a road car. I mean, it will deliver really good torque numbers, it will be a lovely gearbox, it'll have nice drivetrain, really good suspension, as you know, so it'll be a great road car. Can you get it on track? Yeah, because actually the sump pan is pretty much level with the bottom of the chassis, so there's loads of clearance. You'll be at the low line. This is a rear-wheel drive low line sump, so you can put it on track if you really want to as well. So looking forward to continue with the progress on it, but she's in there for now for mock-up, just ready for open day to show people what's going on. Okay, next up we have the Sport 200 build. You probably see there's a bit of progress on this particular one. Next thing was we've put all the loom in. We've just done a trial start. This actually does all start now because it's a different loom. We've done some modifications to it because we've plugged it all into the standard instruments, which I know when Lewis gets around here he'll see. What we've done here, it's a bit awkward with the cage on now, but I'll hold it in place. So this particular one, the reason the looms have changed, so this has got standard instruments rather than a digidash, but we've managed to work with a very good person who's dealing with this with us and managed to work our magic, well he has Spot anyway, of working with CAN. So CAN is now running all of these instruments as well, so that an analog input, so to speak, but in a digital way, which is very cool. So we've never really done it before. All of these are pulled from the ECU. Normally they run a separate standalone sensor and everything else, so we're super happy with that, and that's all working. Got nice branded up gauges. This goes up to 14,000 because it goes to about 11.3 on these engines, so we've got a slightly bigger rev counter than normal, which is always cool. dashboard to get covered and everything else. It's in temporary state at the moment while we're getting all the mock-up of the wiring done, because it's something new that we've not done. Engine's all running, that's all done. We've got to sort of button that up. Roll cage has now been dry fitted into it with all the side panels and the interior panels. The lowered floor, all the boot areas all been done. We've got the fuel tank, fuel pumps in. The rear light package has been done, the LED rear light pack. We've got little LED lights here for the number plate, LED light and an LED fog light in the centre. Very, very smart. So yeah, a few little other bits to do, and the main one is the wheels. We've got the CXRs on there at the moment, which we'll see. And I'll just give you a little bit more light there, Lewis. This will help. Look, they're the standard CXRs, but we've gone a little bit different in this one. And this is it. We've got to put the tyres on there, just to mock up wheels. And this is what's going on. It's an antique gold. I think that, excuse me, it's gonna look great with these. And I think it's got the carbon stripe on it, which it's sort of a shadow carbon stripe on the back there. But this antique gold, well, it's gonna look spiffing. Right, next up is another. This is a Sport 200 build that's sort of started its process in the last week or so. And this is a left hooker, if you hadn't noticed. Pedal boxes on this side. It's going to be going out into Europe, and yeah, it's going to be very neat and tidy, because it's going to have that bad boy, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So it's a booster engine. All the front suspension's gone on. This goes on pretty quick these days. Radiator brackets are in, ready to mount up. Our coolant and breather tank package just bolts straight on to the plate there. It's really nice. Wishbones are done. Pedal box in. Braided brake lines are in. Brake tees. All the bushing's done. All the wiring loom's been basically cable tied roughly into position. We use a little saddle bush on there, so it's easy serviceable part. Got the bulkhead section in here with the battery mounted. Going to get the fuses, the relays, the wiring loom's got to go in. The bushing here for the steering column's gone in. Gear levers mounted in position, which is fine. Handbrakes in, floors are in. Starter motor down here is for reverse. Not for starting the car, but it's a modified reverse motor. And then getting into the back area, these have been done so many times now. Sierra diff, drive shafts, our rear upright package with, you know, the Sierra brakes and discs on there as well. Wiring loom, our fuel tank installation with our pump package that's on here with a sender for the gauge and the fuel pump in tank 1. These are all baffled nice in, work extremely well. And the Protect dampers just put in, got to put the springs on these yet as well. And the handbrake cable's all in. So yeah, we've been cracking on with that, but also what we've had to do is look at the engine. So we're going to look at that next. Right, so this is what we've been up to as well. This one is slightly different because it's a Generation 3 engine, not a Gen 2. And there's a few differences between Gen 2, well, Gen 1, Gen 2 and Gen 3. So Gen 3 runs drive-by-wire on the throttle bodies as well, so they are a completely different setup. And also in here, normally, this has been blanked off, there's a gear position sensor wire that comes out, and that's been moved on this one to here. Now what this causes is, in this area here is normally your water pump and everything else, and we normally fit our clutch slave in there, but it doesn't fit with a Gen 3. The water pump housing and everything else is different. So what we've got to do is fit this, courtesy of RLM. They do a great job, as you know, we work with them. This is a water pump blank and delete kit that bolts on with 2 bolts, and then we're going to have to run a electric water pump, because there isn't a kit for a Gen 3 to change for the clutch slave, everything else. So now we can bolt the clutch slave on. We've got loads of clearances, so we had lots of issues with that. Next thing is, this clutch position shifts is different, so we've got to figure that one slightly differently to where it normally is up here, which is causing us clearance issues. That's being resolved by that. And then it's got the standard, same as you do in a Cup 200 cars and everything else. It's all the sump system, brilliant bit of kit that RLM supplying, that just works. Don't need a dry sump on these. We've proven it on track with serious horsepower as well. Cup 400 runs that package, works a treat. So that's gone on, this will be done. This is where your dipstick is in here, if you haven't seen it before. It's really cool. So you can check your oil levels with a dipstick rather than trying to use just the sight glass, which is down here. Makes life a lot easier. And then the breather will go up to the catch tank. And then next things we've got to figure out is just the drive-by-wire, because you'll have a motor with a cable that will then run and drive this off and then run that. But this is not far off now from going in there. Right, the RX-5 build, if you've been following that, that's a separate video, but you can see it's on the ground, its face is on, headlights, brackets all mounted up for the IVA compliance, you've just got to wire them up. But I'll be a separate video on this, but I just wanted to show you the colour scheme now it's all together. Whew, mustard. Right, next up in here in the workshop is the actual Cup 200 car. This one is for sale. You may have seen it coming up, or it may be coming up on the website. It's brand new build. Atomic Racing built this car. Rich's team done a great job, but the customer's doing a different racing direction. He's doing some other racing, but I wanted to show you under here, just see what a booster engine finish like. We spoke about the Gen 3 a minute ago. This is a Gen 2 engine, but with Gen 3 drive-by-wire throttle bodies that RLM do. And you can see the adapters here to bring it off and angle it over, and the same with the adapters here for the air filter and a different fuel rail with different injectors. That way it sits flat under the bonnet. And this is where the motor will sit that runs the drive-by-wire. So this is a very short cable that runs down to the accelerator pedal. This pulls this function here, and then the motor is electronically driven up here. Gives you a few different options, which is one, flat shifter capability on this particular one now. You can actually have full flat shift up and down on it. It is brilliant. I've driven it, amazing. There's different variations of flat shifters out there as well, but this is by far the best and simplest one I've done, especially on the stick. It's just so light and easy to use. It is fantastic. So that's been good, but that gives you the idea of what that's going to look like basically under the bonnet there, with these angle throttle bodies that have been done on this particular one, but the drive-by-wire and the mechanism as well. But great car. If you want to get into racing, Cup 200 car, this one's ready to go, and it's road legal. It's just waiting for registration to come through, so it'll be on a brand new plate, which is a 24 now, I think it is, 24 plate. Brilliant car. It's got all the gizmos on this particular one, with all the indicators, and everything else is on the steering wheel. Yep, there we go. All on the steering wheel, which is pretty cool. Yep, all the buttons work. It's very, very nice. I mean, that is a bit of detail. Come on, Lewis can zoom in. How nice is that? It's great, isn't it? Everything's wired up. So you got high beams, look, all doing that. And there you got fog lights, you got horn. All on the steering wheel. It's really cool, really nice, lovely detail, and it works a treat. AIM dashboard on it. It's got all the bells and whistles that you could ever think of. 205, 206 horsepower, I think they work out all in done. Great package, great package. You want to know more? Hook us up, phone call, email, speak to Andy, Neil, or any of the team, and we can talk you through this car. Right, that's it guys for another workshop walk. Thanks for watching and subscribing and doing all the likes and shares, as you always do guys, and thanks to everybody that attended the open day as always. This little thing was amazing. It's a great car, demo car. If you want to come down and see this, it's 330 brake horsepower. We've wound it back a little bit again. We don't need that. We know 280 is plenty enough number on it. We have got the Hayabusas. It's got to go through one more time for its final mapping session to get it all dialed in. But yeah, if you want to come down and see this, book it in a test ride, then hook up phone call with Andy or Neil in the sales team. That's it guys. Like, share, subscribe, and we will catch you next week.